Greetings YouTube, Captain Machine here, back for another video, and this is the last of the currently in print SLA Industries books. This is Hunter Sheets issue 1. There is an issue 2 that's available on PDF. It's not yet seen the light of day in terms of a physical printed copy. When it does come out, I probably will get it, I probably will do a review of it, and it'll go onto this playlist. But for the time being, we're just going to talk about this and why I like this book so much, because it is expensive for what it is. It's only just over 70 pages, and it's, I think it's about £10–15 to buy, which is a lot for a book that small. And in my opinion, the binding could be a little bit better, but we're not going to argue too much about that. That's a printing thing more than anything else. What this does is it gives you a bunch of Hunter Sheets. Now, if you've only just joined the product reviews at this point, or you've skimmed over the bit where I mentioned it, Hunter Sheets are basically bounties. They're bounty sheets. For example, this is Phyllis Caro, who is an Eben, who is wanted for murder and dissension. And that's basically what you get given. You get given the Hunter Sheet and some write-up material. And I believe, yes, this is all player friendly, this is all player safe. So if you ever get the PDF copy of this and you have access to a decent printer, doesn't mind printing massive amounts of grey ink, you could print this out or photocopy it and give it to your players and say that is a Hunter Sheet that gets printed out and given to you. Just to let you know what other things look like. I mean, you've got Melissa, who is a Manchine. You've also got on here the Silent One, who is a Scav. So there's a lot in here that's entertaining to play with. And I believe that MechWarrior did this, although I can't remember the names of the books that did it, where you got a book which was just player handouts, which was missions they could get as a mercenary company, and they had a separate book which told you what was actually happening. You do kind of get that in here condensed. Basically, as I said before, this is just player information. There's nothing in here that... You could run a game off of this if you wanted to. If you had the imagination and the willpower to make a game like this run, you could easily do it. But you don't have to, because at the back you do get information for each of the guys that are listed in the front of this book. I can't remember how many there are actually. Let me just do a very, very quick count. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 20. There's 20 different guys in here, more or thereabouts, give or take 1 or 2, because I did kind of flick through the book there for a moment. And each one has got his own write-up, his own stats, and adventure ideas and how to use them. Not all of them are a case you've given the bounty and that is the adventure, although you could easily play that. If you want to go for the Monster of the Week route with regards to your game, you could easily do it with this. But I think some of these benefit from being randomly inserted to other missions. So you doing, say, a blue BPN and do some street maintenance, keeping the peace as it were in downtown, and you bump into one of these fellas and you can interact with them. You may not even realise they're wanted by the company to start with when you first start talking to them. So there's quite entertaining stuff to go on with that. And then at the back you get, and I did say before that there has been a lot of talk about magic in SLA Industries. It kind of gets hinted at, and it's been hinted at more and more and more over the coming modules and books we've been talking about. But Elliot Rake, or Rack, I'm not sure how you pronounce that, and he's a particularly nasty mofo if you look at that. Yeah, he's a horrible idiot, isn't he? This pretty much cements the idea that there is something to SLA Industries that is not normal, and I really, really, really do like this element of the book. It's a 2-page spread as you would do any other Hunter Sheet, but his write-up at the back is a good 4 pages in and of itself. Gives you plenty of ideas how to use this fellow, and the good news is there is a book coming out which is entirely about the cult he leads. So I'm looking forward to that potentially hitting the shelves in some point in 2012. And it gives you an idea of a very, very, very high-level bad guy. I mean, his bounty is 10,000 credits. Anyone that's played Industries will know that 10,000 credits will buy you anything. If you can kill this guy, you earn 10,000 credits. He is very, very, very hard to kill. And it gives you very good information, very good advice to how to run him as well. As a little throwaway at the back, some interesting, you've got the Krell, who are, and they've got one of their weapons as well. The Krell are an alien race which have recently reappeared. They are thought to have been wiped out during the conflict wars, and they've come back basically, and it also does raise a question mark over their heads as to what the conflict wars actually are in terms of the great truth, whether or not they actually did happen, because the first incarnation of the truth said they didn't, they were just make believe. They were just there to excuse why most of this universe was empty. It does raise that question of what actually is the truth from now on, and it does give you some information how to use them. I'm not quite sure if you are using a campaign based solely in Mort City how you would use them, apart from having them randomly show up on Mort. But if you're doing the space opera thing of going around from world to world, and you've broken out that cycle of taking small BPMs and doing tasks, and you've actually got a full-time job with SLA Industries, then I'm sure when you're going around the universe you could bump into the Krell and have a lot of fun with that. Issue 2 has come out on PDF. I haven't got it yet. I may get it in the future, but to be honest with you, I'm going to hold out for the physical copy because up until this point all of my SLA Industries stuff is physical, and I'm going to try and keep it that way. So when issue 2 comes out, I'm going to get it and I'm going to talk about it. For the time being though, this is the last book that's been published by, I think it's Nightfall Games still. It's Cubicle 7 anyway. And I think it's, yeah, it's definitely Cubicle 7 now, not Nightfall Games anymore. Sorry, my mistake. It's the last SLA Industries book released by Cubicle 7, and I give this a solid 4 out of 5. It's a very, very, very good book. It's a little on the pricey side, and some of the applications for it are limited depending on how your campaign plays or what kind of time span you have. But if you're wanting a throwaway bad guy to put into your game, you'll find a good few in here that you can use. And I hope that people out there are able to support the line, because buying books like this and Caliber Sector 1 and all the other books that have come before this does put money in Cubicle 7's pocket, helps them publish, helps them stay afloat as a company, and it also tells them that we are still interested in their product line, because the best way you can ever influence a company is to vote with your wallet. If they release stuff that's shoddy and ill-prepared and not worth your money, do not buy it. There's a lot of stuff out there by a lot of companies that unfortunately fall into that bracket, and I'm going to try and warn you about them when I do bump into them. Like for example the Key of Dahirid, I think it's pronounced. Do not put your money behind that. It's not a particularly good book in my honest opinion, but the rest of the line is worth your time if you're wanting some dark sci-fi horror. Thank you for your time, guys. Thank you for sticking with me through the whole SLA Industries stuff. For the time being, this is the end of the review line for this, and it's been a long journey, but I'm glad we got there together. Thank you for your time. Goodbye.